that all came around, right?
Dude, so Eddie's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all your Eddie was up there, and then I told him about you, and he's like, no way, he was just here, and I showed him your text message, and yeah, so Eddie was cool. Those guys are cool. So I mean, that's man, that's awesome that thing's sitting down at our shop. So
yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
like Eddie's got that longitudinal Tesla motor, which a lot of people are working on now. But I think he originally developed it with EV West, but then broke off and did his own thing. Whatever. That's kind of like between them. But either way, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's Amp Revolt, right?
It's Revolt and
Revolt. That's it, Revolt.
Yeah.
There's a guy with a similar name in New Jersey called Amp Revolt, and he's just Revolt. So let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it right here. There we go. Now tell me about Team Vesco, because that's not originally an electric.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's pretty interesting. I don't know. Do you have other folks on the?
Not yet, but you're on a roll, man. Go for it.
Oh, well, because Team Vesco, that yellow car you have right there on your screen.
Yeah.
1957. And
how much? 357?
No, it was built in 1957.
Oh my God! Really?
Constructed in 1957, and that had a Model A engine in it and a Model B engine in it. It's had a small block Chevy 350 in it, and that's always had gas drivetrains in it. And my understanding is only recently did Team Vesco switch that over to electric, and they beat the University of Ohio's vehicle. And so they took the record away from them. So the University of Ohio had the record. Yeah, they had it at 341 miles an hour as the world's fastest electric car. And then they did the dual Tesla motors in that little giant, and they went 359 this last year out at Speed Week.
Wow.
And they now hold the fastest land speed record. I think their combined speed, 359 was one of their passes, and I think 354 was another. So they have I don't know what the average is, but they put 10 miles per hour or 12 miles per hour on the existing record. So they're 12 miles per hour faster than the second fastest electric car in the world. And so it's pretty interesting. And so they were actually, this is kind of cool because you met Pete last week.
Yeah.
They were actually in the process of trying to take back one of the records that Pete took away. So they were actually putting a gas engine back in that little giant. They were putting in a Model A, like the one you saw Pete, modified. They were putting their own version in, and they were going to go and try and take back that record that Pete had took back in like 2007 or something like that.
Wow.
So, but they scrapped that plan, and now, according to Eddie with Revolt, he said that they are going to put that back in there, and they need to hold that record because there's two other people. There's another company somewhere in Southern California that you may know of, and then there's this University of the University of Ohio is also trying to take back that record. So they need to be ready to compete. So he's now going to try and achieve I think he said he's looking at speeds near around 375 is their goal.
Oh my God!
With some of the mod upgrades. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
So just so people know, I think in the electric category there's 3 weight classes. And
correct.
It goes by weight, but also not by Lakester or Streamliner. Those are sort of outside another subcategory, I think, but it goes by weight. There's electric E1, E2, and E3. Am I right?
Yes, and I don't know. Again, I don't really focus too much on the electric vehicles that at Bonneville because I've worked with Team Ardema.
Right.
But I know that there is a Lakester and there's also a couple Streamliners. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. So so this is cool. So then, here's Duke coming in.
Okay.
That's pretty cool, man. So now that car is over at a high school where they are displaying it.
Yeah. So not displaying it, they're actually going to work with our high school students and give them that opportunity to work behind the scenes and swapping out the power plants to that little giant. They're going to be replacing the motors, the electric motors.
Really?
And rumor has it might end up with some plaid motors in it, Tesla plaid motors. I don't know if that's going to be, that's a possibility. And then I think they're doing some other upgrades to the battery modules and so on. So,
dude, you got to be like the hottest, most excited shop teacher coordinator in the whole country.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Well, I'm trying to get the teacher. Okay, so the teacher at Madison High School, he also happens to know Eddie because they graduated together.
Wow.
From Ramona High. But I don't know. You have a certain energy and excitement to you, and so do I. We really love this stuff, and we live it and breathe it, and think it's so cool. Omar's a little bit more like it's just another day, but it's a different day. It's a different opportunity. So I hope this gives him some inspiration and I start jumping up and down doing cartwheels and all kinds of shit. And he's like, cool. All right. That's cool. We'll just do it. So hopefully he'll pick up some, a little bit more excitement once he sees the students involved and he sells it in a way that's exciting to the students. Right. Because, you have to be able, part of making the whole thing a success in your classroom is the teacher's energy level and excitement and, compassion towards something. That's what also makes it.
Totally.
Yeah. So if you're not into it, it's not going to succeed, as a leader that's leading a group of students. So.
Hey, speaking of awesome shop teachers that reach out, what's up, Duke?
What's going on?
Yeah, how's it going, dude?
Good. I got a Little League game tomorrow, so I'm trying to message the parents.
That's cool. Duke, thank you for holding down the fort last week when you had the controls. That was awesome.
How'd the video come out? Everything good?
Yeah, it's real good. I'm going to publish it soon. I just got a backlog, and then when I got back from my trip, I did a red-eye flight, which killed me. So I'm actually I'm about 85% human. I'm a little bit back, but when I got back, I was about 15% human being and mostly zombie. So I couldn't do anything, dude. I was dead. I got back on Monday morning, with straight off the red eye. I went straight to work. So that's not advisable.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Nah. It's silly. And but Greg here's got he connected with some electric racers that I know of out there, and they got this card in the workshop, and they're actually working on it. So that's pretty cool. Do you have those photos? Are they on your Instagram?
Of the vehicle?
Yeah,
they're on my cell phone. They're on my cell phone, and I texted you a few, but I'm driving right now, so I'm not going to be able to do that.
I'm going to try and pull them up quick. That is pretty cool. Like it shows them. But basically, Revolt Systems is like Duke. I feel like you'd like this. Imagine you got like a Camaro. I feel like. Dude, I don't know about you, but I'm of the New Jersey era where if I see an 87 IROC, I'm like, yeah. So the only way to make that electric is you got to have a Tesla motor running straight down. They call it longitudinal. So it's just like the gas engine would be straight up transmission and then back to the axle and the thing. So, but that's what they did for a 69 Camaro. Look at this craziness. Oh, this is Eddie right here. Oh, like a dramatic, serious video. But yeah, there you go. And basically, I think that's SolidWorks or maybe Fusion 360. And
yeah, it might be.
Yeah, so he's using a 289 Mustang. We're gonna have him on the podcast. I guess here he's talking about recycling and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. But I mean, dude, imagine that you like get a chance to. That's so cool. Let me see. Save attachment. Select all. Okay. I've almost got these photos ready. But yeah, so they put that system in a normally gasoline racer.
Yeah.
And then from there, they were able to
I was.
break
You know
records.
the Martin brothers? They got a show on like Discovery or something. They're always like wrenching cars, but then they got like his wife, and then the bald guy. His name's like I don't know.
Oh, here's a good shot. This is it right here, dude. That's it, right down the middle, old school. But that's a Tesla motor, straight down the middle. Yeah. Oh, he won a SEMA award. That's pretty good. Okay, yeah.
That's what he's doing right now. So that's why the car is down at our shop, because he's working on a couple SEMA cars right now.
Really?
And so he needs a room. So he actually brought the little giant down to Pete Ardima's, and because Pete knows Rick Vesco, because he's good friends with Rick Vesco, who holds Rick Vesco for the folks on the podcast owns two of the fastest cars in the world. He owns the fastest wheel-driven car, which is a record set at 503 miles per hour. And now he also owns the Little Giant, which is the fastest electric car in the world at 359.
Is that the Vesco 111 or 444?
Well, the Vesco 2, it's called the Turbinator 2. If you look up the Turbinator 2, there's a good video. You need to look up if you want to run, there's about a 2-minute video or a 3-minute video that shows it setting the 503 at
500 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. If you can pull it up, look up Team Vesco Turbinator 2 on YouTube, and we want the one that's the one where it goes 503 miles an hour. I can't see your screen, but it's 503, and it's about a 3-minute YouTube video. It's a really good one. Okay. And that one's good if you want to put some audio in it.
Yep.
503. Put the audio on. Let me see if that's the one.
Oh, this is a
commercial.
Yeah, this is commercial.
Okay. And then maybe expand it, and then there it is. Yeah, opened up large. You turn on the audio. It's a good one to watch. So I don't hear any audio though. I don't think the audio's working.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Hold on. 2 things at once. Oops. Oh, conversions. There you go. Okay, we'll get back to that, Duke. Hold on. Oh, here we go.
So this is Rick Vesco's other car.
Current record established at World of Speed last month at 482.646. And they are shooting for 500 miles per hour.
Let me stop right here for a second. Would you drive that thing at 500 miles an hour?
Oh my God.
What do you think, dude?
But those guys were talking about getting close to 300 miles an hour. It was crazy. 500?
That's like in a rush. You can deliver a pizza in like 1 second. 500 miles an hour, man. Imagine if you're going, like if you're driving to like, let's say from here to Maine, you could get there in an hour from New Jersey.
Well, that's the speed of the commercial jetliner you just flew on. So
yeah, basically.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. People forget how fast the jetliners go. They're going like 500-600 miles an hour. It's unbelievable. All right, here we go. Ready?
Spangler is the driver with Eric Ritter as the alternate driver. Owned by Rick Vesco.
Let me interrupt again. Is it a turbine that I hear spooling up?
Yeah, and they talk about it. You'll hear it. If you let the thing just run out, it's only like 2 minutes. They're pretty informative on this video.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. I don't hear sound again though. Are you getting sound?
Oh, you guys aren't getting sound? Okay,
No.
okay, wait. I can fix that. I was getting really good sound. I was like thoroughly enjoying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you go back, they'll explain what it has. The
All
powertrain.
right, hold on. I got you. I got to do a tab. There we go. And then I got to turn off my sound. Here we go. Just give a thumbs up if you hear the sound.
Terminator out of Rockville, Utah, owned by Rick Vesco. This is the fastest wheel-driven vehicle in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Powered by a Lycoming T55 turbine engine out of a helicopter. Running in class T3, turbine 3 class. Current record established at World of Speed last month at 482.646. And they are shooting for 500 miles per hour. Dave Spangler is the driver with Eric Ritter as the alternate driver. Owned by Rick Vesco, who is the crew chief.
Underway. Get on the wheel.
I'm just going to interrupt for a second because I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works where you're taking other people's videos, but I think you got to interrupt it and talk a little bit. But basically, this is insane. Matt, thanks for joining. We're just going over some of the race cars that are participating in helping out inspiring the local workshops in high school shops in San Diego. They brought the cars over there. The students are actually working on it. It's pretty cool. And this one's about to go 500 miles an hour. And I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same vehicle that they're working on.
Same owner, not same vehicle. This is the world's fastest wheel-driven car, but it's a turbine powered. And the vehicle we're working on is the world's fastest electric car, which is electric, obviously.
Right. So. Okay. Awesome. All right. Here we go.
Okay, heads up, everybody. This is a Rick Vesco car, and they are shooting for 500 miles per hour with this vehicle.
Vesco Terminator, Dave Spangler, on course now. Quarter mile, 373.538. Mile, 400.283. 4 mile, 459.671. 10 mile 5, 493.037 with an exit speed of 503.332.
Okay, well, they got their exit speed of 503.332. Boy, that is incredible. We are just aghast here.
That's amazing.
Pretty impressive. So that owner, the owner of that car is Rick Vesco, and so he has two world records for two of the world's fastest vehicles based on their category, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Oh, they got a whole bunch of videos here. That's pretty good. Man, this is unbelievable. So now what was cool is that this is the Revolt system. Just to show Matt, they got this vehicle here. This is a Team Vesco car. And Greg, what kind of engine did this have in it before?
It's had many different kinds of configurations. I know that it had, I think before it was converted to electric, it had a small block in it, Chevy. Okay. I don't know if it was blown. I don't know the configurations, but that car was built in 1957, and it's one of better aerodynamically designed cars. So according to another source, somebody told me personally that a lot of people study the design of that car because it's got the optimal aerodynamics.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's cool that it's old school, right? So it's not, it's
Yeah.
awesome that you've got these old school vehicles that are, built before I was even born. I don't know, a long time ago, and they're still reutilizing those chassis and and setting these records. I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It is unbelievable. I'm trying to find the photos. So now when they brought it over to, so this is Eddie who runs Revolt Systems on the right there, and they're doing what's it called? Like basically they'll pull out like a longitudinal engine. Oh, I see. This is going to be a GMC truck. That's cool. Out with the old and something new. Oh, this is what we're going to see at SEMA probably.
Yeah, he's doing something for SEMA right now. So.
Wow. And with the cool thing is it's straight up old school, like right down the middle, almost like you got a big old V8 in there. And here he is. This is Eddie. Eddie's pretty cool. He's like an excited dude,
Yeah, he's got a lot of good energy. So
yeah.
He relates really well with the students. So, sometimes you get that old guy in there and kids are like, who's this? He looks like my grandpa type thing. But Eddie's real nice and he's really articulate and got to try and get my on a truck.
So look at this. Okay. This is like a 69 Mustang with like Tesla cells in it. And those are the Tesla cells, those panels you're looking at. And then this in the middle, believe it or not, that's actually a Tesla motor. So, because of that, you can, do these crazy burnouts and whatnot,
So, Ron, tell us how did your electric vehicle class go?
That was sold out. I couldn't even believe it. I'll pull up some photos. So last weekend, after we went to go see, Peter Ardema and Kevin Braun, I went over to basically the EV West, which has another arm. They have Electric Vehicle Learning Center. And then while we were there, I registered, I set up a class. And so it's my little crash course I do. Basically, I thought a few people would sign up, but it was like, it was crazy. Like we had sold out. So I didn't know what to do. So I had to come up with something real quick. So what I did was I came up with these panels. It's like a vehicle class right here. So I got this little class that you sign up for, and then I just sold tickets and we got an agenda, and it was crazy. So here, Greg, I'm just going to mute you while you're shuffling around there. Here we go. That's a lot better. So I'll bring up some photos and I'll show that. Oh, I wasn't sharing right now. 1 second. Let's see. That worked out really well. I would encourage teachers, if you guys have a curriculum, if you're a teacher and you got a curriculum that's working really well for you and you think it might work for adults and you're motivated to try it, you'd be surprised. People really want to do that. You could sell out classes just teaching what you normally do in your high school or middle school class. And because of that, you can, share what with other people besides the district where you work. That's a possibility. So let me see what I got here. I think I have the photos right here. It'll take me a second to get it. But anyway, in the meantime, that is such a cool thing. Like sharing racing car, like an actual racing car showing up to like a high school, that's like a pretty cool thing. Let's see what else is going on. Duke, what's going on in your area? I'm just gonna look for these photos. Give me some updates. What are you up to?
Standardized testing right now.
Oh,
Kids are going nuts.
Oh my God,
We're only into our second day. It's crazy.
That's horrible.
Got like a new administrator.
Oh,
So he's just thrown into the wolves. But you know how the standardized tests are.
They're soul sucking. You know, they just
Yeah.
it just drain you. You know, the kids are just
And dude, like I'm just walking around. I give like the teachers pee breaks, so it's not a big deal. You walk by, you know, there's some kids so stressed out about it. But then there's other kids like 15 minutes in sleeping already. Like, and when they're done, that's what you can do. Read a book or sleep. That's it.
You know, it's not right to do it to these kids. You know, kids want to be excited. They want to be inspired, and they want to do stuff, you know? Like here's the adults. And like what we did was I got them working on these little cars. You see, we went over the basics, but then I give them these little kits that I assembled, and then they turn into kids like right away, you know, and they're just having fun, and like they're being competitive because that's what we're going to do next. And believe it or not, like, okay, like this guy on the right, I think this is Cody. He like works on electric VTOLs, which are like vertical takeoffs. Like, dude, he's working on like the highest level of aviation, but he had a blast in the class where, you know, and like they don't care. So they just want to have fun. And I think creative, three-dimensional creativity, you know, it'll never die, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's like, you know, you get just as excited as your kid when he brings home a Lego or he wants a Lego. You're looking at Legos in the toy aisle just as much as he is, you know? You're like, oh, I hope he picks that one because you like building them together, you know, following a set of plans.
That's funny. When you go to buy Legos, Duke, you know you're picking out the ones you want.
Yeah. I'm like, please pick out the motorcycle.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. This guy here, he's an older gentleman, and when I gave him the parts, he literally said to me, "Oh, I can't do this," like that. He was like, "This is not gonna work out well," like that. And I've already taught high school for 17 years, so when he said that, I was like, "You're gonna be okay," like that. You know, you just give them encouragement. That's all they want. And then he turned out he won the competition. And you know, and then the engineer people who had like plenty of experience, they did overkill, and see, this is the guy in the background. Look how serious he is. He's so into it. And he told me it's not gonna work. He's like, "Oh, this is not gonna work out." And I was like, "Dude, it will." And this guy, I think he does like IT installs for I don't know if it was Verizon or whatever, but he's like, he knew what he was doing, and he was so into it. He didn't even look up for the camera. He was just so like, "Dude, this is great," you know? Like everybody's just working on it, you know? So here he goes. Here's his like, oh, I guess the camera dropped there. I was trying to capture moments, but I have the final race. Oh, here we go. This is it right here. And I play the final countdown, you know?
Who's ready? Let's see your cars.
Now, hold on. I got to change the presentation to tab. So I do the final countdown by, I think it's Europe, you know?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, man. Look at this. Oh, my God. Check to see, make sure your car works, and we will get it on the road in a second. Okay. Electric Vehicle 101 in 3, 2, 1. Let me just tell you, this guy, here's the guy, the older guy, and his is the one that he's like, "Oh, this is not going to work out." This is him. He's about to put it down. It's totally going to kill the rest of the whole group. Go, go, go. Oh, my So, oh, look at this. Winner! Ah! Yours! Oh my! It just went straight, consistently straight, and it beat everybody else. And I was like, "That's yours!" And I was like, "Dude, you told me it wasn't gonna happen," you know. So like, it was awesome, man. Oh my God! First place. Where's second? You did it! Look at this guy doing donuts. That's amazing.
I don't know what went wrong.
Oh, we had an accident. Hit the wall. It was a blast, man. That class went really well. Man, that was a lot of fun. And you know what I did? This might help. What I did was I didn't have any assistant teachers. So, well, I had like one, but it was kind of like he was in and out. He was just helping one person. But what I did was I made these panels, you see? So like, I was like, okay, this is your continuity test and just follow this. And then this is number 2. This is your voltage test. Number 3 was your amperage test. And so like, I drew these out the day before because I was like, there's no way that I'm going to like say to do something and then 10 people go and do it. They're all going to get lost and be in different places. So I was like, screw this. I'm just going to do it a different way, you know? So I think I'm going to do that going forward. Just draw out the panel, you know, like a graphic. And like, this is a continuity test. So this worked out really well. And like, you need to select. And then as people try it out, I noticed they would say, oh, well, what about this? Or what about that? And I would just add it, you know? So that worked out really well. But I think I'm going to take this thing back on the road. I'm going to do another one of these coming up. And then, I mean, part of the excitement was being at EV West because, like, even though it's the Electric Vehicle Learning Center, like, they got crazy vehicles. Like, look at this thing. This is a Tesla-powered buggy. This one's a double motor Volkswagen Thing. You know, which is super cool. And let's see, you know, those vehicles are like ridiculous. They haul ass. They can break free. No problem. Yeah, so that's basically what happened there. Oh, I have pictures of Team Vesco at the high school. Let me just get them up there. Oh, there you are, Greg.
Dude, those electric cars, we do like junior solar sprint cars as like one of our events for the TSA competition, and they got like a big solar panel on them.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Cool.
Is
Yeah,
that
but they're similar to yours? They got, you know, just a balsa wood base, and then you put the solar panel on it. It's a lot similar, you know what I mean? You're not really teaching electricity like you are, but same thing. They race them.
That's awesome.
You know what, too, Ron? You might be able to do is like if you want to keep them straight, do like the CO2 cars, the dragsters, run them on you know, the fishing line on the bottom with 2 eye screws to hold them so they're not like running all over the place. If you wanted a direct path from like A to B.
Oh, and so like, what would you? Yeah, that would help out a lot. That would help out a lot because it's tough to get these things to go straight, and then I feel bad when people crash into the wall. You know.
Yeah.
Let me see something here. And what is the solar team thing? Is that like a kit?
Yep. So like
Can
when
you
they do the regional competition, we do it in a gym, so they just run them off of batteries. You know, because that's in February and the sun's really not out. It's cold, but you know, during in April end of April when the state competition is. We hope for like a nice sunny day, and sometimes we get one. And they run them outside. Junior Solar Sprint.
So can you pull that up? I just want to see what it looks like. And then I'm going to pull up these photos. There we go. That's the cool thing about it is like, I think small vehicle competitions is where it's at. I really do think that those are really like the gem. They've really saved my program. Like small competitions are really helpful, even if it's like cardboard or something, it doesn't matter. No.
I think the students like the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Of anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I used to do a thing like I used to race my students. We used to do like a NASCAR pit challenge, and we'd use the impact gun and rip off the tire, take it off, put it back on, and zip them up. And we would have a person with a stopwatch and timing it, and it was always competitive. They loved it. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is this the place where I was?
Yeah, that's Madison High School. You visited there the other day.
Get out. And this is Omar?
Yep, that's Omar.
That's amazing, dude.
Yep,
that must be so exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, here's Eddie. Yeah. Yeah, Eddie's cool. That is awesome. Wow. So they're actually going to work on this car?
They're going to work on this car. And Eddie told him, he said that the students that actually help out and actually work on it, not just standing around, but you're an active contributor to this car. We're putting your name on the car. Like you can see the names right there of the folks there.
Yeah.
So he said every single student that helps, they're going to put their name on that car.
Wow. No kidding. That is awesome. How exciting.
What I think is cool, like here's what I think is cool about it, because we talked about this a little bit, how we all face challenges in our career technical education classes. And there's a stereotype that, if you're in an auto shop or a wood shop, you're not college bound and it's for the other kids that, I've heard that a lot coming out, we've had people not in support of this particular program at Madison. And it seems like we see a lot of push for engineering, right? Everyone needs to be an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor. Everyone's got to go get their engineering degree. But here's the cool thing is Eddie, who's designed the world's fastest electric vehicles, the gentleman right there sitting on the trailer, he doesn't have an engineering degree. He's not an engineer. Okay. But yet he has built the world's fastest electric car. And the competitive team, from what I understand, and again, I don't know all the details, so don't kill me if I'm misquoting this, but according to Eddie, he said the University of Ohio has a budget or has spent an upwards of anywhere between $6 and $8 million in research and development in building a car to try and beat this one.
Wow.
Right. So you have, a whole entire engineering team at a university trying to beat this car. Now, again, we can't give all the credit to Eddie. Eddie didn't design the aerodynamics on the car or build the actual physical vehicle itself, but he has transplanted the electric powertrain in it. And that was a lot. That was a huge, engineering project in that vehicle to do so. So I think it's cool that we're bringing this to the automotive students because it's kind of funny. You guys were talking about the little electric cars, little solar power ones. Well, we use those a lot in our engineering programs. And, and so I think it's cool that, the engineering program's doing the little kit solar car like the one you just built at EV West, but then the auto shop kids are actually building the real deal with the group of industry experts, that meaning that being Eddie or Team Vesco and other folks that are experts, they're going to come and work with our students. So I think that's really cool. So,
yeah. So this is we'll get to that in a second. But wait, where were we? Oh, here. So the thing about it is that like I met Eddie and he's just real ambitious. He'll try something and he'll do it by hand. And he also will, he's coordinated with a bunch of people. And he just sees it through. You got to see it through. And, that's the thing. Now, he's not the only one doing that. To be fair, I think it started he worked together with EV West on it, and then he broke off and did his own thing. But either way, it's still not easy because you have so much torque, and that motor was not originally built to be outside of a Tesla. So you have to have software that can work with that, and then you have to hold on to it, and then you got to power it.
Yeah.
So it becomes like you're using the Tesla motor, but you still have to do a lot of your own engineering. So it's pretty amazing. I mean, I don't think it's for someone who would give up easy. Like, he's just real determined, and I that is an inspiration.
Yeah, and they're not using Tesla battery technology in this car. They're actually using the batteries out of a Honda Insight.
Oh, no way.
The little individual cells. And they found that out because the Tesla batteries are able to deliver current, just like, a standard car battery. You'll know, you get a standard car battery, it'll say it has 850 cold cranking amps. Well, that's what it has. The cranking amps is only for a duration of time. A very short period of time. It'll have that initial jump and then it comes down, right? But in order to, if you were to take that same battery that has 850 cranking amps, you're not going to be able to get 850 amps out of it for 30 seconds or 3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So this car has to be able to go for 3 minutes or, depending, anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, but it draws, mega amps out of the, and so they were saying the Tesla batteries cannot deliver the amperage for the entire 3 mile or 5 mile run.
Oh,
after a certain period of time, they start dropping off. So they went with the Honda Insight battery technology, and they've reverse engineered these Honda Insight batteries and took some of the components from those to make their batteries for this car. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. That's that's EV West, right?
Yeah.
The electric streamliner. That's EV West vehicle.
Yeah, well, they were working together originally. But I don't know where Revolt Systems begins and EV West diverges off. I don't even know. I'm in New Jersey when they're doing all this stuff. But I got nothing to do with it. But I do know that was kind of the idea, is that you take one of these Tesla motors, see, this is your motor, this is your reduction gear, but over here is like the inverter tech. And yeah. And what's nice about Eddie is that he's real good at like art in a way. So see all these bevels and whatnot and the polishing, and like I watched him like make sure this thing was like good looking. He like got into it. See all this, and just making sure that it looks correct, whereas when it's not polished up like this and not all, matched up, it just kind of looks like recycled parts. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks kind of almost like a transmission, like a turbo 400 transmission,
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the whole unit right there. Bam.
Totally.
Drop it in.
Yeah, and he came from actually he also had, did you ever see the Tesla Mino?
The mirror
Tesla like an El Camino, but a Tesla Mino?
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, that's his other project. That's how I think he started. Tesla Mino. And it was a Model S that they turned into a
like a truck.
An El Camino. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It almost looks like a Camaro on that side view for a second.
Yeah. Here you go. This is the good view. Look at that thing.
Looks like a Bondo bucket to me. All right.
Dude.
Yeah, these guys are just buying Teslas, like, I'll just buy a Tesla and rip it all apart just for the motors. It's like,
yeah.
I started looking online, man. I can't find a Tesla, used one under 50 grand. I don't know where they're getting their money.
Nah, they're expensive. I know. Hey, this is my drawing because I went out there that summer and I was with them. So I was sitting around. So I drew his motor.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
Yeah.
He mentioned your art.
We had a good time, man. It's just what I really like is like people doing stuff, and they're always like, everyone was like really nice about it, and they're like willing to share and talk about stuff, and like it's just exciting, you know. Oh, look at this. That's crazy. Look at that. That was early days when it still had the door. What do you think, Duke?
I like it. Look at that.
It is awesome. It's just a good time, you know. Like it's just wild what's possible, you know. When you got some inspiration. That's so cool that he's sharing it with the students there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
man.
it's going to be a fun thing. Well, hopefully, you know, again, it'll help energize the program in a way that gives it the positive publicity. You know, that's what I'm really hoping for. You know.
Now, did you help coordinate that at all?
It all just happened right then and there when I was texting you at that banquet. It was like, bottom line, like I sent you the picture of the car. He towed it over to Pete Ardemas because Pete Ardemas said, yeah, you can leave it at my shop, because he needed a place to put it. You know, and then Pete said, well, you should just take it over to Greg's. He's got 5 auto shops. And then he's like, what do you mean? And so it kind of just went down there. And then I said, oh, I got to ask my teacher, Omar. I'll call up Omar and see. He's like, Omar, you mean Omar Sevilla? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, dude, I went to high school with Omar. And so he knew Omar. And so pretty much once Omar and them connected, it was a done deal. So they rolled it yesterday. And again, the kids are pretty jazzed about it. And he really talked up a good conversation with the students. He really connected well. You know, there's those times when you guys have a guest, you know, you've all probably had a guest speaker in your classroom, and you get one that just doesn't really connect well with the kids. And this Eddie just connected well with the students.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
You know, so that was a good thing. So
I'm so glad to hear that. That's awesome. Hey, we got Corey here. How's it going? Oh, there you go. Hey guys. Okay. Cool. Just so we see, like last week, I'm going to publish this, but last week's video, which Duke helped be the host and whatnot, this was awesome because I was actually at Peter Ardema's workshop, and we got a full tour.
I don't know. How did the audio quality come out when they fired up those engines for you? They're on the.
I don't know if that came out well.
No, you couldn't hear anything on my end.
Yeah.
I just gotta tell you guys, man, you should have seen Ron's face when that thing fired up.
Dude,
he was not expecting that, what he heard. So
it like goes through your soul. It like tickles your soul in a good way. It's a 6-liter V12. You know, it's like, oh my God.
And that's their new 5-liter that they're working on. And yeah.
So this will be published soon. That was a great time. And then those cars at the end was such a treat. It was like,
oh yeah, that was bonus. That was like bonus footage.
Yeah. Let's see, where was that? Probably over here.
Yeah. I think you got to go back a little bit more, because it was the you just showed where he's milling the bottom end of the new 12. So go back a little bit more.
Oh, here we go.
Right around. I go back a little more. Yeah, because that's where we're looking at.
Yeah.
That's the rear engine.
Yeah, that's right. We did the best we could. It's just cell phones.
I think it still came out.
Did it come out well for most of the folks? Were you able to hear everything? And
yeah, like nothing was really breaking up. Everything was pretty clear. Nothing was really slow. The worst, probably the biggest technical difficulties we had was like before we hit record.
Yeah, when we were trying to figure out, there was a delay on the laptop. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Peter Ardena has really done some. He's really done some interesting builds. That's unbelievable. Oh, he did this thing where it's what was that? A coupe, and the engine's in the back, so you wouldn't even know. Oh my God, it's crazy, man. Well, that's cool. Let's see. Since it's kind of open format, if Corey wants to throw on his camera, we'll say hello to him. She's got time. We also have Matt is in the house. Matt's doing stuff. He's getting.
What's up? Yeah, I'm getting kids ready, making food, doing dishes, laundry, that domesticated stuff. And listening to a podcast.
There you go. Doing it all.
Multitasking.
We could switch gears for a sec, and maybe you could give us an update, Matt. If this is a good time to give us an update on your house and also the wall assembly and anything else going on in the building science world. Give us give us a thermal break.
Here I'll turn my computer one back on here. I've been, like I said, kind of had two going on here for a second, but
okay. Cool. So we'll give him a chance to set up. There we go. And Matt's coming to us from Taylorville, Illinois. And what's cool is he's got so as a shop teacher, he builds a house on a piece of land with students every day. So it's not or every year. So it's not like they don't go to a shop, they go to the job site, which is a totally different idea, Greg, do you have any teachers doing anything like that? Anywhere around California where they buy a piece of land? Oh, I guess in California you can't really do that.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We build a couple. We're building a tiny homes at Hoover High School. We have a building and construction program there.
Oh.
The goal was to build these little tiny homes and then relocate them somewhere. And then, the red tape came in. But we build, we're part of a program called MC3 Building Skilled Structures. It's through an apprenticeship program where they want them to build a small scale home, and that then gives them a pre-apprenticeship type of exposure. Nothing to the level of what Matt's doing. I mean, this would be pipe dream if we could do something like this. But I thought it would always be cool if there was a way we could do that, with HUD, Habitat for Urban Development, and if they had a house that needed to be rebuilt or the students could work on, that would be awesome.
Well, we got the resources. Matt knows a lot of people in the building science world, and then also there's a guy in New Jersey, Frank Cacavel. And he did it. They did a house in the back parking lot, and then that's going to be donated to Habitat for Humanity. And I guess it's really their responsibility to install it. But I mean, even if you don't, you could take the thing apart at the end of the year if you had to, but you could do a build in a parking lot. Literally, he just went for it, and it gains a ton of attention and inspiration and whatnot. I'll just show you. Here it is. Let's see what the house looks like. Yeah. So, what's the name of this? American Plumber.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, the American Plumbers movie, type of thing, or the TV show went down there, and they interviewed him, and got all these people, and it gained all this attention. It's just awesome. So let's get back to Matt for a second. What's going on, Matt? Can you give us an update?
Yeah. So I had to switch over my phone. My internet's being funny.
Okay.
I was like Duke today. I was hall monitoring for pre-SAT, so I didn't get a lot done, even though the weather is beautiful. But we are working on siding. Siding is almost done. You gotta wait a second on that. So we're working on siding. We're trying to get that done because seniors are done here on the 12th of May. And then we're done right here at the beginning of June. So we're hoping to have all of the siding done. Inside, we might get to start drywall. We'll see. But the build show, for people familiar with the build show, they're going to be here. in a couple of weeks because we're doing an install with Carrier, who provided the heating and cooling system for us and stuff. So Build Show's doing a thing with us on that, which is pretty exciting, and that's amazing exposure. We just got for House 29, so we're on House 28 for House 29. We just had a local couple. Her husband took building trades back in the day. He would have been maybe 70s or 80s, I think, for his graduating class, somewhere around there. I think he may have been in 80s. Anyways, he had such a good experience. They had a lot they've just been sitting on in town that I don't think they could get sold, and really wasn't a super valuable one. I mean, it was average, I guess. So he just wanted to donate it to the program. So we just got that lined up.
Someone just gave you a lot?
Yeah, again.
That's incredible.
How much does a lot go for? I'm just curious where you're at.
It depends. They can be this one's probably under 10,000.
Wow.
Typical ones, like the better ones, bigger, better corner lots. Depending on the neighborhood, they may get up to between 10 and 15,000. But then if we go out to the lake and stuff, then they're $40,000. And that's with nothing. You got to put your own septic and everything in.
Is that for like an acre or something?
Probably right at an acre or just under an acre.
Oh my God, add a zero, and now you're talking Bergen County prices.
Yeah, I sit on an acre here in town where I live, and then my parents, we were on 3/4 an acre. But most of our city lots are like 50 wide, 145-ish deep.
No, I mean the price. Like if you said 40,000, just add a zero.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then in California, add 2 zeros.
Right.
It's crazy. I mean, you could buy a crappy lot in the neighborhoods where you get gunshots and helicopters flying over every night. Those are around 500,000. That's a quarter acre lot.
Yeah. Oh, $500,000 here would buy. I know $800,000 right here would buy you. I forget how many acres it is, but it's a huge plot right in the middle of town where a car dealership got wiped out during a tornado, and luckily they had already retired and closed down business, so it was just the building got damaged. So he took the insurance money and is trying to sell. I mean, it's a $20,000 a year tax property tax bill.
Yeah.
But
shoot, that's average for California.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's why I tell everybody. So when I talk to people about these programs, it's one of those things, rural communities and small communities probably have a better shot. They're typically already blue collar. And C, there's still property available, and it's, I mean, for the most part, affordable. Now, the city, the urban, you know, like you were saying, that's where they probably need to start looking into the refurbishing of buildings.
So, Matt, I got a question. So, if your students, when they graduate your program, and let's say they're 18 years old, if they went and worked for a local contractor or something, what would they be able to find a job, and are they paying above minimum wage, I'm assuming, or?
Yeah, they could find 5 jobs.
They could find 5 jobs, and
it's not a job. It's they can find 5 jobs.
Okay, because I don't know if I just, Ron, if it's okay if I could just share a little bit
go for it.
My son Max, he's 19. He just moved out to South Carolina. We got family in South Carolina. He's living with my mom, my sister, and he's looking for a job. And I noticed, and I'm helping him trying to find a job, and a lot of these jobs are, assembly line worker, stock clerk, and in my opinion, they're very low wages. Like a stock clerk makes, $7.99 an hour. Assembly line worker working a second shift, $12.99 an hour. And I'm looking at these jobs, and I'm thinking, man, these jobs are, in my opinion, they're crappy jobs. They sucky hours. You don't make any money at it. And then I noticed, this is what was cool. I mean, I thought this is what really got my attention. There was a job for a 911 operator, and it said you need to have a bachelor's degree You got to have, be effective in communication. You have to type whatever, 1 million words a minute, whatever. All these things you got to have for a 911 operator. And it was $15.99 an hour. Okay. And now here's where it gets interesting, Matt. So then I started looking for my son because I'm thinking, man, he needs to find somewhere else. And I looked up construction and a whole bunch of jobs came up. And it says, we are a contractor. We build residential homes. We've been in the business for 60 years. And we have starting positions with minimal experience. You have to be 18, have work boots and your own transportation. And they're starting at $20 an hour.
Yep.
Okay. $20 an hour, and that no experience necessary. So I'm trying to educate my son. I'm trying to tell him, like, look, Max, you got to understand this. You can go get that job and at whatever at the at the supermarket, stocking the shelves at night for $10 an hour, but you're not going to go anywhere with that. I said,
no.
You're going to go if you get a pair of steel-toed boots, and you're a helper, and you're moving goods, you're cleaning up, you're sweeping the floor, you're helping out. But in 2 years, you're not going to be a helper. In 2 years, you're going to be, you're going to be doing something different. You're going to learn, and you're going to learn that skill, and you're going to move up. And that's what I found was really interesting is that when I look at that 911 operator position, and you got to have a bachelor's degree, and that, I don't know, man. I wouldn't think that would be a really, in my opinion, I don't think a 911 operator would be a great job. You're dealing with hearing all these bad things that are going on and accidents and this and that. You're working terrible hours, probably at night.
Yeah.
And here, one of your students, Matt, can graduate your program, pretty much land anywhere in the country and make a higher wage than, some of these people are making with a college degree coming out of college from the get-go.
Yeah. I don't know anybody. I haven't heard anybody offer under $17 an hour.
So it's for you, it's 17 and up start.
Yeah. And that's just because they have to stay competitive. Walmart's throwing people $12 to $13 an hour.
Yeah. But again, see, the Walmart thing is like to a night, again, trying to tell my son, you're trying to tell your students, you don't want to go to Walmart.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere with it.
You're never going nowhere. And if you start at the age of 19 or 18 years old and you're on a construction site, by the time you're 30, you're not going to be making $17 an hour. If you stick with it. You're going to be, you're going to be driving a new F-250 diesel truck. You're probably going to already own your home. You're going to about be looking at that boat that you want to buy, And so again, it's just interesting how I think society has labeled certain, skilled trades, whether it be, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, automotive, welding, and society today looks at that. Maybe not where you're at, Matt, but in San Diego, nobody wants to be a welder or a plumber or an electrician.
Yeah. See, welding here, I had a student that wasn't on the house building. He was either 20 or 21. He bought his first house as a welder.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's more affordable around here. You're probably not going to buy a house in Southern California at 21 years old, just fresh in welding and stuff. But here's in the trades, the unions, I don't think you start off maybe in your apprenticeship. I think the apprenticeships start off with the residential construction union. I think they start off the apprenticeship at $19 an hour.
Yeah.
And getting benefits.
And benefits. Yep.
Yep.
And medical. Yep. And retirement.
Yep. So now if you're working for a local guy, you're going to make $17 an hour and that's it. That's your money. And you have no other benefits. So that working for a contractor, but just in our small town, I know one of our main HVAC guys, he's paying 3 of his guys with minimum overtime and on call work, consistently between $50,000 and $70,000 a year. And that's 3 guys he's paying. And that, we're not even talking about what he's making as the business owner and what his son's making as the person coming in to take over the business. And, the other people are working those are just 3 main tech guys. In building trades industries, man, to be, especially if you end up getting into the unions, where, getting on jobs that are paying you. I know plenty of guys are making well over $40 an hour. to be in the trades, like $100,000 figure, once you are good and you're on your own, even if you still work for a company, but you can be sent and do your own thing. Now, of course, business wise, well, I mean, you can make money, you can lose money. It's business, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $60,000 to $100,000. I know plenty of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, imagine in your community where the cost of living is a lot less. What are you guys paying for a gallon of gasoline right now, Matt?
I don't know. That's for something. I never look at gas prices and grocery prices because I'm going to buy them anyway. So
yeah, you're gonna buy it. Well, we're $6 a
That's the
gallon. But what I'm
same
trying
thing
to
as
say,
me.
yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, the gas price is like." I don't know. I fill up my
but I mean,
tank.
I know, like you're saying, you could probably buy, a nice house for $150,000, right? Where you're at.
Oh yeah. Well, the house that we're building with the students right now will only sell between 160 and 180.
Yeah. So these guys are
And it costs more to build that. Let's go ahead. Great.
They're making 50 to 70 grand a year. And how many years in at 50 to 70 grand a year? How many years experience in the field?
If you're in the unions, man, once you're through your apprenticeship, you're probably going to be pushing. You're going to be starting to get close to 50, especially if you get on any of those prevailing wage jobs. I mean, you're going to have, if you get on a big prevailing wage job, shoot, you could have $100,000 a year young. Not saying that happen every year, but like the guys that are doing the tuck pointing, they're re-tuck pointing the school. They've been working there all day, every day, this whole school year, and that's prevailing wage. So they're probably making base salary is probably anywhere between 25 and 35, maybe 40. So prevailing wage, pretty much double that. So they're making $50 to $80 an hour.
Wait,
I mean,
what's a prevailing wage? I know it's a dumb
so
question.
when you work for a government entity, you have to, the government projects have to pay prevailing wage. So that means you pretty much are getting paid whatever the scale is, but it almost doubles the amount, and the employer has to pay the employee prevailing wage. So if the employer typically charges, say, $100 an hour for you and pays you $40 an hour, that may jump up to, he has to pay you, say, $70 an hour. And so now he's probably charging $200 an hour for your work. So when you work for a government, like schools or government buildings and things like that, they have to pay prevailing wage. And so that's why whenever they get on these, everybody wants to work prevailing wage. So there's been like 2 to 4 guys working consistently. And I mean, you're grinding and it sucks. It's dirty. It's wet. It's cold. It's whatever. But I promise that paycheck is A-okay.
Yeah.
For the roughness and stuff. So, but I mean, I know people, because there's so much work and there's so much work and so little competition with the trades. If you're good and stuff, I know people who are over a year booked, and that's in like every single trade, and that's even around in this area. Like I think our electrician said he can't get away from being over 6 months booked out.
Wow.
And so, I know some of these guys are making, like I talk with on Instagram. I mean, they're still small companies and stuff. They're pulling them and another business partner maybe pulling in $100,000 with being a business owner and stuff. So it's, the trades right now is hot. Like, and you can go work wherever you want to work. Now, of course, starting off, you're not going to be, and a lot of people are like, oh my God, we got to pay somebody $17 an hour because we just got people off of $10 and $12 an hour starting out, So that's a big jump. But if they already say, if you're somebody that's willing to work, shows up every day, willing to learn, they'll bump you up into the 20s almost within months. If it's somebody that they feel worth putting the time in. So the trades is,
it's
hot. Yeah.
So I got a friend who does tree work, and he can't find anybody, so he has to train people or take on people that he's sort of friends with, and then is willing to train them. But the pay has got to be high. Also, I got students that are like 16, 17 years old. They're getting $15 an hour putting fries at Five Guys. Now, Five Guy fries are really good, but you're still just flipping burgers, basically. What I always tell the kids is like, whether you make $10 or 15 or 20, the main thing is if you're learning, if you're getting paid to learn, you're always going to make more money, because not everybody's willing to do that. You know, a lot of people, they just take a job because they say they need money. So they like take a quick job. Oh, Amazon's paying or whatever. But unless you plan on working in distribution and you want to be like an Amazon manager or some sort of logistics manager or something like that, it's not a good idea to take a temporary job just to grab some cash, unless it's like a lot of cash, you know, like, so you're always going to, you make money and then you're going to spend money. So you end up equal anyway, you know, it's like, so Matt, just to go back to you for a sec, this house you're building, you're now putting the outside on. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. We're about a third, probably not quite half. Yeah, probably a third of the way through siding. That picture right there was starting siding. We've gotten quite a bit up now. The weather's been nice. We're waiting for our last few windows to show up, which I think they're supposed to show up next week. We're starting the kids are getting ready to wire up the electrical panel. Starting tomorrow, they'll be wiring up electrical panel. Like I said, HVAC system will be getting ready to go in. Pretty much the goal is if I can have the outside put in or done so we can get the yard put in over the summer, that'll make things a lot easier for next fall.
How do you get stuff done over the summer? Is that just you volunteering your time with students?
Yeah. Now, ideally, I won't work over there over the summer. Last year, I did to make sure we were done with the house. This year, everything's moved along pretty good where I may do a couple special work sessions if we need to finish up, say, siding or if we can get drywall started. But my goal would be to spend no more than 3 to 5 days tops this summer, if any. So I try not to do a whole bunch there over the summer, just like all of us, try to disconnect and then come back to it. But last year we had to. This year I don't think we're going to have to. And the nice thing is when we come back next fall, it'll be no matter what the weather's doing, we'll be able to work inside. So if it's hot, wet, whatever, it will be inside, air conditioned, or at least cooler. And we're expecting to have the house done somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I said,
okay. And then you don't have to have it done every year. You could stretch it a year and a half.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And with COVID,
as long as they're working on stuff, right?
Yeah. It's class. Now, of course, we want to get it turned over just because you do incur business expenses with the house and things. But, and for me, building residential, you're never on a house that long, at least not this size of a house. It's one thing if you're building like getting to the 10,000 square foot house or something crazy like that where they're on there for years. But
when did you guys acquire the land? I can't remember.
So this one we acquired, I don't know, sometime while we were building the other one. I try to have the next one going while the other one's, in progress as far as getting everything planned out.
I remember you digging this out.
Dude, I remember him like shoveling the sidewalk.
Yeah.
With grass.
So this was.
Oh yeah.
So this was September. Oh, this is like not long ago.
We got a late jump on this one. We were supposed to have the foundation put in before we started school, but it just wouldn't happen because
there it is.
Yeah, we cleaned up the neighborhood sidewalk. They loved it. They went crazy. And then most of that sidewalk you see right there, we tore it all out and put new in.
Oh, good. Okay, that's cool.
But we did the neighbors and everything. Yeah, and then the mayor came by. The mayor came by. He's like, "Boys, we can keep on going." I was like, "No, we're busy."
Yeah.
But
hey, is that a brick road?
Yep. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
We have a few brick roads left in town that they they leave for like just because.
Do you know what's funny? There's a brick road by me, part of the Palisades Interstate Park, which is like super unique, historic thing that was left over from the 30s, Roosevelt type stuff and Rockefeller and whatnot. But the bricks have a name on them. I forget the name now, but that name is still, that company is still in business today.
Oh, wow.
And the bricks, they stayed. And then when we had like a hurricane come through, not a full blown thing, but this crazy rainstorm recently, like about a year and a half ago, it ripped up the blacktop like it was like opening a tuna can. It just threw it down the hill, but the bricks stayed. So the 100-year-old bricks are still there. So the brick roads are dope as long as they're not all misaligned.
Yeah. These brick roads are not too bad. I mean, they're a little chattier than some of the other ones, but
it started.
But we got my buddy's a mailman. He was all pumped about it. He's our mail carrier. But no, it's going good. The like I said, the lots. The city's been, we got this one from the city. We just paid back taxes, split the back taxes with the city. So we paid $600 for this lot. Because the city acquires houses that have gone like, either abandoned or, fell in disarray or whatever, or people didn't, foreclosed on and didn't pay taxes. So the city keeps giving us whatever they have available. And yeah, so that's kind of how the lots, we've been very fortunate. We haven't really had to do a full purchase on a lot yet, which helps save money. And then of course, I've been very fortunate with my connections on Instagram and through the building community, and especially the building science community, where they've gotten me connected to some awesome companies that are just giving us their materials for, if not free, a very discounted price, which is great.
Awesome. Corey, we're going to get to you in a sec. You're super patient. Thanks, man.
All good.
This is awesome. Well, Matt, this is cool. So now you're coming to a close of the year. And now what's this over here? What are you guys doing?
Oh, that was a home project. We had a
good.
We were putting in a basketball hoop, so the kids got to learn about frost lines and
it's cute.
Take what? Yeah. So yeah, that was a home project. But the thing is, we keep having storms and stuff, so we haven't even been able to get the basketball hoop up now that we have the footing installed. But so yeah,
basketball hoop's great. I had a basketball hoop like kind of in the driveway. Man, I must have hit that backboard so many times that it finally just crumbled and there was nothing left but a hoop. I think I got my money's worth. Man, we played so many games on there. Oh my God.
So Matt, real quick, I was just going to ask one more quick question. I'm just curious. One of the photos, it shows students doing some plumbing, and it looks like white PVC drain waste. Why is it only, I noticed it all like on the Midwest, there it is, that photo there on the Midwest and so on. Why is it that all the drain waste and stuff is in white PVC? Because we use black ABS in California.
I have no idea. I've seen black ABS, but it's usually in older houses. I don't know. I'm just
always curious because they don't sell, we can't use white PVC for any drain waste or any drain lines. It's always black ABS. I wasn't sure if there's a reason.
I think there may be some environmental bonuses using ABS. I forget. I forget all the differences between ABS and PVC.
Okay.
Commercial maybe may use some ABS, but most things is PVC. We've gone to pretty much PEX. It's pretty common. Not as much copper anymore. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to.
No, I was just always curious. So.
In fact, we're working on getting a Eric Ani on here, who's if you guys follow him on YouTube or Instagram, mechanical hub. He might be able to answer those questions for us. But yeah, good question. I don't know. I'm going to say, being in California, I'm going to say it probably has some kind of environmental thing.
Okay.
Hey, Matt,
That's my
quick
guess.
question. Do you have the same group of students working on the house year to year, or does it change depending on your classes?
So you can get into my class as a sophomore if there's room and if your schedule allows it. Juniors and seniors primarily. So you have so technically you could work on, if you get in as a sophomore, you could work on 2, potentially 3 houses. Juniors, you're definitely going to work on 1, maybe 2. If you get in your senior year, you're only going to get to work on 1. So, but you can take it as many times as you want. It's once you take it once, you're not done. You can take it as many times as you want, as long as your schedule can handle it. And assuming you actually come to class and perform and work and all that stuff, because I can veto you out of the class the next year. So that is kind of a luxury I get, which is nice, and it's starting to pay off. The first couple of years, I've had a few challenges, but yeah, that's kind of how it works for our students.
And are they involved right from foundation to finished house?
Yep. As soon as day one, they're doing something usually.
That is so cool to be involved in the whole process. So do you bring sub trades in, or do you teach electrical, plumbing, all that stuff?
Yeah, both. I'm by trade, I'm a carpenter, so that's kind of where I guess you could say my expertise lies. But I'm getting better. Like, we'll have the plumber come in and check over everything. We'll have the electrician come over and check over everything. HVAC people come in and we work with the HVAC people. Anything that I'm not great at, actually, even if I am good, it doesn't matter. I'll bring in another carpenter. Like, the more people I can expose them to, just because there's so many different ways of doing things, and it's fun for me to learn new ways. And it's also nice. I mean, we all know as teachers, if you have somebody else in the classroom helping, it's like a bonus teacher, right? So if the electrician's there, I'll let the kids who really want to be involved in electricity to go work with the electrician, and I'll take the other kids to go work on something else. So the more and more I've, especially now with COVID restrictions and stuff lifted, I try to get in as many people and guests as possible. And it's also nice, like I said, I've been very fortunate with Instagram. Like, we now have, people will actually make a special trip to us, which is really cool. And we kind of get a luxury of having special guests that other places may not get. I became friends with the right people, I guess.
That's awesome.
Watch out the podcast. Mom's down there.
PVC's looking better for. It doesn't have BPA in it, but the ABS might be stronger. I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, I saw that. It said shock resistant, so I wonder if that has to do for earthquake.
Oh,
that's yeah, that makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, for us, we got to worry about tornadoes.
Okay.
We've had a minor earthquake in my time here, but it was one of those things where you're like, did something just happen, or did I imagine that? So that's about how big our earthquake was. Even though I think we're not far from some big fault in the Midwest, but yeah, we build to handle tornadoes. So yeah, that's probably
ABS
that's a pretty good guess.
PVS is more flexible, muffles the sound. There you go. This is on the practical side. This is kind of probably it.
So I would think you want more the PVC for the flexible, right? So if the house,
I agree.
Right, you want that flexible, but maybe not.
Like move with.
Was that on NT Copeland, Ron?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get them on the show.
Okay.
So I've consulted with these people. I guess is the best. And actually, Frank, they've talked to Frank too. And so they gave us free subscriptions to their program. So this MT Copeland, I'll talk about this real quick since you haven't pulled up.
This is the videos.
Yes, they've taken the trades and put it online, and they've done a killer job on putting this all together. Like, it's all done professionally. Like, I've started sampling through their stuff. You have to buy each course. And so what they're doing is they're working on trying to make a subscription or whatever for schools to see how they could integrate this into the shop classes and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome that you did a search and MT Copeland came up. Like, I talked to I've actually been talking to these guys kind of ever since before they even officially launched.
Nice.
And then I finally seen some of their product and thanks. They're doing an awesome job. But awesome people, super nice. I talked to them down in Florida too in person, and they are very interested in trades education and what's going on in the schools and stuff. So
that's awesome.
MG Copeland's something we may see more of, and you can follow them on Instagram too.
Do it. I think I am following them. Let's get down here. Oh, bam!
They have a ton of courses on their website.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had so many. And I mean, they talk about project management. They talk about carpentry.
That's a crazy ratio right there. That's a lot. They must go do some good posts.
Well, and the thing is, so they had highlighted me on a post, and then they kind of did a rebranding again, and then they like post wise they made it more of a present. You know, you could see the pictures are in a certain way they did the post and stuff. But yeah, super awesome people. So this is one of those things where they got Jordan Smith involved, who used to work for Matt Reisinger, and really good builder, really good spokesman for them and everything. And this is backed by Silicon Valley people.
Oh yeah.
Because they think this is like the next big niche kind of thing. And I think that's how that story goes. I'm not 100%. So if MT Copeland hears that and that's not true, I apologize. But I was told that through like another source that wasn't from them.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I mean, it's really good. Like that they're doing these classes and whatnot. That's the way to go. I mean, you know, not everybody can make it to a class in person. So even I'm thinking about how to do my electric car class or welding class like online, but then send you the materials and then have a follow along type thing, you know. And you got to start with the basics. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can't watch a video on how to ride a bicycle, but if you got a good teacher, somebody could break down the steps so that you could have little failures and start walking up the staircase, you know? Yeah, that's cool.
In fact, Lydia Crowder, she goes by Drywall Shorty on Instagram.
Yeah.
I've met and talked with her. In fact, she's one of them that's hooked us up with and got us hooked up with companies with drywall finishing and stuff, and they've gotten tools and stuff sent to us. She wants to jump on the show sometime.
Oh, absolutely.
She's a drywall finisher. She's up in Bozeman, owns her own company. She's awesome. She's got a fun backstory. Her dad was in the trades doing drywall and stuff, and she went to college, partied too hard, and first year, and she's like, "Yeah, I can't keep doing this," and and now she runs her own business and just is killing it. Yeah, her and her husband, awesome people. I got to hang out with them in Florida too. Super cool. Big fans. Yeah, Drywall Shorty. Yep, yeah. Lydia.
Cool.
Yep. She's also a contributor for Build Show too.
Oh,
but
wow.
She wants to come up on the show sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. I would love to know her story.
Is she on stilts right there?
Yep. Oh yeah, she has to be. She's only like 5'2". Like she's on stilts for everything.
Literally Drywall Shorty.
Yeah, she is short. The name is for a reason.
Yeah.
In fact, I did a couple collaboration posts with her when the kids were doing some drywall finishing. So I got tons of exposure on the post, right? Because of hers. And then there'd be like people talking shit about like bad form with the kid. And she's like, yo, you guys are talking about high school kids who touched a taping bazooka for the very first time.
I remember that was
here.
It's on yours.
It might be on hers.
That taping bazooka. That thing looked cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
So do you have to just apply pressure on the back at the same time, or is it a trigger type thing?
Oh, okay. Well, there's the one with the kids, the students. So there's the bazooka, and then Can-Am sent us the semi-automatic one. So that's the one where you have to do the back pressure. But Lydia is the one who hooked us up with Can-Am, and they're out of Canada. They sent us like $3,000 worth of tools. Those are kind of fun to run. Now these automatic tools. So what you're looking at there are the automatic ones.
That's
and we're working with potentially company level 5 to get either very discounted or potentially donated tools and stuff for the automatic. So we have hand tools, we have semi-automatic tools, and we'll have automatic tools for drywall mud. And they're fun to use, but yeah, Ian's running this, and people are like, God, he's going so slow. And we're like, in my post, I literally put like the first time using it. It's just like, people are so dumb. It blows my mind.
That's amazing.
And people start attacking them. They're like, oh, I bet you weren't that good out of the womb or something. And so it's the social media thing. That part you just,
well, if you got haters, you're doing something right, because
that's what I told the kids. And the kids, they're so used to all that stuff, they just laugh at it.
Is that the same machine or different?
That's Lydia work, and I think that may be her husband. But that's the same tool, and that's the ones that we're actually working on getting, those red ones. Wow. But yeah, she's all over the place. Like she's a really good teacher. She's good at breaking down.
Look at this.
Yeah, this is her getting into the stilts.
Actually, her height is an advantage, because then you're not too tall where you got to duck down.
Yeah, well, in those stilts you can get different levels and they go different heights and stuff. But yeah, I've never walked around on those yet. I've played around on other stilts, but I've never done drywall stilts. So
yeah, it's like a real bad twisted ankle if anything goes wrong.
Everyone's like, why don't you get the kids on stilts? I'm like, because I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah.
they can roll around on the roller scaffold. That's fine. Like
it's a craft in its own.
Yeah. And drywall finishing, man, it's an art. Like it's now these tools definitely make things a lot easier. Like I'm not great with the hand tool. I'm not fast, because everybody's like, why don't you teach them with their hands, the hand tools? They need to learn. I'm like, yeah, because I can't do it. So, but I'm pretty good with the automatic tools. But even then I still have to bring in one of the professional. He's actually a former teacher at the high school. And he'll come in and make sure all the touch-up stuff is good. But a lot of it's getting that mud mix right. If you can get that mud mix right, it makes everything so much better.
I can see how these people make it look easy, but there's no way this is easy.
Yeah, it's easy because they've been doing it for years and they run miles of mud a year. So to them, but it's like everything else. But I'll tell you what, I get some kids that just have the knack for it and they can do it. Like, and I keep telling them, like, hey, if you guys worked with some people and got trained properly on this, I was like, you can make a lot of money drywall finishing and do all right. Like, I don't know how much Lydia makes on her drywall, because she's up in Bozeman, Montana, where thing is just everything is just popping there. Like, she said it's insane. Like, I forget how many houses she'll do in a year, and just her and her husband. Like, I think it's over 100 houses or something in a year, or something crazy. And these houses are selling for like $800,000 cash offers.
Oh my God.
It's and she's like, oh, those three-way corners, those are pretty cool too for drywall finishing.
Oh,
no, that's a stretch tape. That's Huber. Go up.
Three-way corner. This?
No. So those. Okay. So there's a semi-automatic tools. So that one, you know those water cannons, when you pull them out and suck up the water and shoot them, they work. Oh, yeah. They're just like that. And then you put these special heads on them. Those aren't too bad. And Caleb right there was getting the hang of it. He can run them better than I can. And those are the ones that Can-Am sent to us. They're not too bad.
When you say Can-Am, I keep thinking about motorcycles.
Yeah, that's what I think. It means Canada, America, but Can-Am tools. I always think of motorcycles or side by sides.
Oh, this.
Yeah, so doing the inside corners where it touches the ceiling, you have that 3-way.
Yeah,
I cannot. I'm horrible at them. Like it takes me so much time.
What is this?
So this is another Canadian company.
Oh,
I think they're not. Canada's killing it. So I think they're in Ontario, but they sent me. I had posted on some people I know that used them, and they reached out to me and sent us enough to do the house. So you put those little things in there, and then it just takes a little bit of mud, and they're ready to paint, and it looks perfect.
awesome.
So
Because you're never going to get these corners perfect because you got blemishes because you're carrying the drywall and it gets corners cut, right?
Why
So
did
you
it take
have
80
to put
years
it in.
for somebody to
well,
develop
you're
that?
trying to cut in 3 different ways. So either you have to hit it, let it dry, hit it, let it dry. Now, like Lydia, she can just put her knife up there and it looks great. But she's done probably a million of them. Like for me, I do a few a year or every other year. So they sent those 3-way things. We did it, and the garage looked perfect. I was like, "Yep, sold."
Nice.
Well, I should grace.
I'm looking for. I remember you guys ran that tool across the ceiling. I think it's over.
Yep, go down.
Oh,
You just passed it. Keep going down. Right there, right there in the middle. Yeah,
okay.
those mud boxes.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah, so when you hit those things right, look how nice that finishes.
Yeah.
And that's like Jaden and those guys only like now. Granted, we need a longer pole because we're at 9-foot ceilings to make it so they're not on their tippy toes. But shoot, those guys were running those by the second or third runs, and I barely just have to go touch up behind them with it.
Wow.
How's a mud box work?
So you have a box, and pretty much you have a box you fill up with mud. Now there's some special rails on it that finish it off, like if you dragged a trowel across it or knife.
Okay.
But what you do is you push up against it because the box, the way it works, it's hinged. So the backside that as you push into it, it pushes the mud out onto the wall. And there's that special rail behind the mud and drags it out and feathers it all in one shot.
That's awesome.
And again, as long as you get the mud mixed properly.
Smooth gliding. Yeah.
Yeah. It very little to no sanding as long as you hit it right. And yeah, you could, I mean, heck, those guys were running, those would have been approximately 13 to 14 foot runs. And by hand, it would have taken us forever.
Oh,
now
wow.
there are some people that can run hand trowels or like, I mean, they can almost run with their hands, but I can't. I never got that good.
Yeah. Cool.
Is that video beside it the Festool Planex that you're sanding the ceiling with?
No, that wasn't us. If you saw a Festool, that may have been on Lydia's, but I want one. Oh my gosh! Now I have an old power cable, Porter cable one. Works great. We hook it up to a Metabo dust extractor. Works wonderful, but I'd love to have that Festool with the light and yeah, and they say it's almost zero dust. And our zero dust, and our Porter cable with the Metabo dust extractor, it's minimal dust, if any. Having a good back on it, but having that light and everything on there. Thing is, I don't know. I'll have to try to get a Festool connection because that thing's like between the sander and the dust extractor. I think you're almost into it about $3,000.
Yeah, I think the dust extractors are about $1,500. I just got a couple of those in the shop, and they're wonderful. The whole system is nice for dust extraction, and I'm sure the drywall one's even better because imagine the old days where they didn't have dust extractors and you're sanding the ceiling and see the drywallers come out and they're just covered in dust.
Yep. Oh yeah. You're blowing drywall dust out your nose for a week. That's why I always hated drywall because I wasn't good enough and I always had to sand my butt off to make it look nice. And now once you learn to use those mud boxes and stuff, minimal sanding, it's not bad.
Oh man. What are you guys doing here?
Okay, so we had to readjust a piece of drywall, so we had to raise it up. So we had like I told the kids, instead of getting a new piece, I said, you know what, just cut it out. We'll leave the hole big above the outlets, and I'll show you guys how to do a patch for like remodel work. So we call those hot patches. Where you actually use a little bit, you leave some paper on and cut back the drywall. Hey, Liam, quiet, buddy. And use the paper as the way to cover the seams, and then you mud over it and stuff. And now, if you look at it now, you can't even see it.
That's cool.
It takes a few coats and you just finish it up. So it was one of those things. It was a good little tip and trick and remodel practice for the kids, even though we were doing new construction there.
Yeah. This is beginning. This is the beginning.
Yeah, we found those pictures in the 1911 or 19 something yearbook, 1913 yearbook. And I've seen the original picture, and I think it's dated 1890.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a buildings and trade construction project for the kids back in the day.
Yeah, and it's all. I don't know if those houses stayed or if they built them and took them back down. I have no idea. I've seen houses around in our area that look like that.
What do they call it? Manual training building.
Yeah, it looks like
Manual. It's hard
of construction.
And then they changed it to in course of construction. and then in that one it says today in 1913 they called it building trades.
Which is still called
manual trading building in course of construction.
Wow.
I guess, yeah.
In course, in the middle of building a house, basically. Manual. But there was no other way. There was no power tools back then. So what do you
Yeah.
Handsaw. Yeah.
Handsaw.
They had the first cordless drills, the one you had to crank, man.
You're right.
Awesome.
Cordless drill.
And there was no sheeting back then. That's boards across there nailed on.
And they plastered it, lath and plaster. Right?
I'm sure, yeah.
No, wait, right there. What are those little braces? What are those things?
This?
Yeah,
you can't ask about Greg. You can't. No.
I don't know what the hell that is. I've never seen that type of building here.
You can't. No.
Okay.
Those are the T-studs.
Yeah, this is
They're
it's like
thermally broken studs. If you're ever on there with Mark Willie, the guy with the big beard, he works with T-stud, and he's always talks about a good thermal break.
Yeah, that's a thermal break, Greg.
Yeah, so T-Stud partnered with us on this one, and
you have no idea, Greg. We've covered this topic.
Sorry, man. I saw it.
No.
I haven't seen that shit
No,
before.
I love it.
Oh,
I
stop.
absolutely love it. No,
Here's
let me
something
show you. Let me show you about this thing.
Yeah,
Basically, Basically,
looks like someone with a lot of time on their hands. I don't know.
Right there with you, Greg. No idea.
yeah, T-Stud.
The T-Stud. All right, so.
Oh man.
Yeah. So now imagine. Okay, you go ahead and you put your insulation in between. I guess you call it the cavity, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you have a 2x6 there, you're still conducting like a transfer of energy, thermal energy, either from or in or to. But what this does is it's actually a break, and then it's structurally put together, so it's a less of a direct connection. And then you can foam it if you had to.
I get it. So it doesn't allow the thermal to transmit.
Correct.
Less. It's
like an isolator in a way.
Exactly. This is like, it's like a thermos. Those vacuum thermoses, in a way, it's not.
So those are those dowel pins. They look like dowels.
Yep. They had to make us. They had to make their own machines to run these dowels. So what they do is, if you look really closely on those dowels, are grooved, and that's allow the adhesive to have room to expand inside there. And I think the dowels are oak.
What are you looking? Well, I mean, what's the cost of one of those 2x or 2x6s? What is it? I mean, what's the cost of one of those?
I don't know.
We never.
We didn't have to. We didn't. I didn't have to worry about it.
Willie said. Mark Willie said it's okay. Don't quote me on this, but he said it's about 25% more for the whole house. But I don't know what the payback is. But the energy consumption is less on your bill. Now, in California, if you're in Southern California, I'm not sure that's a factor. I mean, do you have a huge bill, Greg, or no?
Oh, we do, but it's just because the energy and utility companies, take us for a ride.
But why do you even use much? Like, as far, you don't turn on the heat, do you?
Oh, no, we can't. I mean, if I do, I freeze to death. We do actually get cold, but it's just too expensive. I mean, I live in a 1,500 square foot home and I don't have AC, and
you don't
we
need
don't
it.
have big loads. And my electric bill last month was like $260.
Dang.
It's just shooting up. And my brother's in Michigan and it's in a blizzard and they've got their heaters on and everything like that. And theirs is like, 120.
My combined everything, and I live in the worst insulated home. Let me tell you, when it's windy, you can see stuff moving sideways. Like if you dropped a feather in my house, it would move sideways. I'm telling you, it's drafty. It's crazy drafty. And the most I've ever paid was like $200 for my gas and electric. I'm in New Jersey. Wow, you guys are getting killed in California.
We are getting killed, but a lot, it jumped up. Like, for example, my bills, like in the wintertime, used to be like $80, and now they're, over 200. But people are ranting and raving because all the wildfires that have happened in San Diego, in California, has really linked back to the responsibility of the utility companies. And so the utility companies have all been sued, but now they're just taxing it on to the residents.
They're like, oh, cool. You want us to take care of things? We'll just charge you more.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
So
you gotta get off the grid, man.
We have time of use. Do you guys have the same thing? Like,
no, I know what you're talking about.
So your electricity is different at different times of the day.
During the day, like rush hour. You know what? Jehu Garcia is a YouTuber in Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh,
and, yeah. I love saying that. And he's real clever, and also no college, no training of any kind, whatever. And what he does is he has grid-tied inverters. And so what that means is you could have a big battery pack that you recycled from like an old Tesla or something, and then you charge that thing at night and use it during the day, and you big changes on your energy bill. And also it's temporary. So even if you're a renter, you can do this.
Yeah, they just started the time of use, and it'll probably happen to you guys eventually, but the time of use is not cool because, basically if you want to cook dinner at 6 o'clock, which most of us do between like 6 and 8, the electricity is more. And, if you want to take a shower in the morning between like, 5 a.m. and 7 a.m., it's everything's more. So it's, now that, they want you to buy all the smart appliances. So you have your washer machine turn on at 2 a.m. in the morning to wash your clothes. So it's off peak and so on. But it's interesting. But a lot of people are going solar. A lot have. So.
And also, even if you got a piece of your house off the grid, that would be cool. David Garcia is not far from you, Greg. Maybe 2 hours. He's real smart with it.
So I was thinking that it's time
with this stuff.
Yeah.
You got to check out what he's doing. So like, if I put in, I don't know, let's see, grid. Maybe that'll come up with a video. There we go. Grid tied inverters, and he like does reviews and shows you how to do it and DIY power walls. Basically everything Tesla sells, he basically makes a DIY version. It's good. It's really good.
It's good. The environmental, and I'm not against it. I'm not against the environmental or anything. But it's
how dare you, Greg?
Pretty hard. No, it's getting hard in California with I don't know if like they generators and gas lawnmowers and stuff are now banned after 2025. So a lot of things. They're also banning in Encinitas. If you're familiar, Ron, where Encinitas is at, and Carlsbad, I think like starting next year, all new construction homes cannot have any type of gas appliances. So no gas furnaces, no gas water heaters, no gas stoves. So they want you to go electric, but I think it's kind of interesting. But
they want electric, but without solar panel, then that's not going to work because that'll be very expensive.
It will be. So it's people they'll go solar.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like the little display there. That's awesome. Look at that.
Oh yeah, dude, he's got all this stuff. Honestly, that you can get off Amazon. I got one.
Is that, and it does current?
Yeah. Well, you
So
got
how's it doing current? Does it have a little shunt?
a
Or
shunt.
how's it?
You're
Okay.
always going off a shunt. Something like that can't handle current like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, and he's super cool, and they've tried to get him to do some local teaching, but he's not. I think he's a good teacher on his YouTube channel, but he's not like going to go in the classroom and do a 1-day show. But with you, probably would benefit, from meeting him, and maybe you guys could do something if you ever do like.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But also like his big thing is that, he worked with EV West for a while, and what he does is, I guess his bus is it was really the showstopper in the beginning. Let's see, DIY electric cars. And, that was like a recent, show that he was at, but, I'm trying to find the Samba that he built. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that how to spell it? 50-year-old Rusty bus revival electric conversion. Yeah, there.
So I got a question for Corey. Corey, where are you from? What are you
From Canada?
Okay, I thought I heard the accent. The accent. Sorry. sorry. Now, are you an instructor, a CTE instructor?
I teach construction technology.
Oh, no kidding.
More the woodworking cabinetry side. It's my trade. So yeah.
In what part of Canada?
Lethbridge, Alberta.
All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful up in that area.
It is. It's also
in the summertime is when I go. But
yeah. Summer's good. Summer's the best season. Winter it can be summer and then -40 in about 12 hours change.
Oh man, Corey, we're gonna get into it in a second. But Greg, take a look at this. You see the motor hooked up to
it? Look at that Volkswagen transaxle there.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm talking about.
There it is. Look at that.
Yeah,
he did disc brake conversion on the back too. It looks like.
Yep. So this is Corey's situation right here.
Yeah, I don't post anything in the school. I'm kind of just slowly getting into social media. I've never really been a big fan, so
that's beautiful. That looks like that. Is that epoxy?
That is epoxy and a maple burl live edge stump that I had found and tried it out. I've been doing lots of it in the class and trying to practice and learn before the kids start diving in. So, I'm a cabinet maker by trade. Got my red seal and worked for a year or two, and then went to school to teach shop, and did a bunch of contracting work. So tile, flooring, cabinets. I just love making stuff and building, and
What's a red seal?
That would be, so in Canada, so a journeyman or journey person would be provincially, and then red seal would be Canada-wide, or I don't, is it red seal in the States?
No. So the red seal, Ron, is like their, I guess, kind of like your master carpenters, right?
See, we still have master carpenter and a master electricians up here on top of red seal.
Gotcha.
So it might maybe just be nationally. I thought it was worldwide, but it must just be nationally.
No, that's just the Canada thing. But is it through your unions, or is it anybody can do it? That I was never clear on.
You need to write your red seal after you've completed your apprenticeship.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you need to pass your 4th year. After you pass your 4th year, you're considered a journey person, and then red seal is on top of that.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I've heard, Joe, Canadian Carpenter, and those guys talked about it, and they're talking about how being grandfathered in to people who could sign off. They said part of the problem, they're having people who are eligible to sign off for you to be a red seal carpenter or something like that.
Without going to school.
Yeah, without going to school. Yep. Yeah. But we don't have our closest equivalents to be something like going through the union apprenticeship, journeyman, foreman operations kind of thing. So
we also have blue seal up here in Alberta, which is like a business focus, which I didn't really know much about, but I did my Bachelor of Management and a major in CTS. And because it was business related classes, I walked out with a 2 bachelor certificates, and a blue seal. So I've got a red seal, a blue seal, got a whole bunch of color of paper, and they made the bill a little bit easier to swallow, getting 3 certificates, so to say.
That looks like a heated floor there, huh?
Yeah, that I've done actually a couple really cool custom bathrooms, and I use and swear by Schluter, so that's the Schluter Ditra.
And then
heat
you just
cable.
set the tile right onto that substrate right there.
Yeah, you do a skim coat of your thin set, and then start putting.
It looks
your
like
tile
little
on.
suction cups or something. It's weird.
Yeah, well, it's almost like a decoupling membrane. So if you're doing it on concrete or even plywood, and if there's any movement, it's not going to crack your tile. So they've got a new product now called the Schluter Ditra Heat, which is their same membrane with the pucks that are bigger.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Oh, there we go. My boy just woke up, so I gotta leave here quick, and I'll come back on.
No problem. No problem. Wait, what district do you say you're from? Oh, geez. Where
Alberta.
do you say? Oh, okay.
I'll be right back, guys.
No problem. That's pretty cool. Now, I heard these are like real efficient, right? Is that what the deal is? Plus, it's nice to have your feet.
That's
warm.
$609 a piece.
Well, that's a whole pile of them. It's,
Yeah. So what those are? They're
42.
those you can put in the heating. They also, with that system, it's like waterproofing system and stuff. Instead of using concrete board and things like that. They've been around for a while. I haven't got to use it, but people who use it rave about it.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
And I think since there's a little bit of give in it, it's not so rigid. There's some. It helps with even though you want your tile moving. I think it also has just enough give where it keeps things from cracking, but not so much give that allows cracking or something. I forget how it all works out, but I know waterproofing is a big thing with those. It's big on waterproofing underneath your tile.
Oh, that's cool. Yes, you don't get stuff leaking through, I guess, if you have a flood or something. That's interesting. Man, you learn so much doing this podcast. It's like unbelievable. We cover everything, too. This is great. All right. Well, we're hitting kind of the 10 o'clock mark. We can kind of wrap it up, maybe hang out for a little bit. I'm still recovering from a different time zone and a red-eye flight. Oh, man. But this was good. So, Matt, what's next on the house? I don't know if he's there. He might be doing something. And Duke, give us an update. What's going on with you? Anything new?
No, just finishing up.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't started counting the days yet, but
okay.
The kids are getting rammy right now, and
yeah,
been a long year going back.
That's true. Yeah, we came off this was the test to see if we could go back to normal society.
Yeah, we're back. These
Yeah,
kids
we're
still
back.
can't handle it. I don't know. They still don't know how to talk to each other. They still can't keep their hands off each other. Gee.
It's funny. I got a freshman class. They're freaking wild.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. They are out of control. But it's okay. They're doing good.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
At least they're back.
Yeah, they're back. All right. So we'll wrap it up. I think we got Sam from RetroCheck coming up in the future, and we got a whole bunch of guests coming up. Just got to confirm the dates and whatnot. And Greg, thanks for joining again, dude. You're a great addition to the Shop Class podcast.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming in. He's got great questions, right? He gets on a roll. It's cool.
Yeah. You guys can mute me too if you need to, but yeah.
No. You're all good. You're all good. Only when if there's ever feedback, I just mute people and then they can just unmute themselves whenever. That's the only reason. All right. Well, cool. So we'll end it here.
Ron, I don't want to start a new topic before we leave.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. What's good?
When are we going to hear about the rest of your trip?
Oh,
Arcimoto
Oh yeah,
battery
dude.
company.
Well, I can give you a quick overview. Arcimoto, I gotta tell you, it's close. They kind of have it, but not quite. They're kind of like, it's not an iPhone. It's like a. I'm gonna pull up the photos. It's not an iPhone. It's like, well, let me just show you what we're talking about here. We'll just extend the recording for a sec, just because it's kind of an interesting vehicle. Only because I did the tour and everything. Arcimoto. So Arcimoto is this 3-wheeled vehicle. I mean, it's weird, but the stock price is super low right now. They're in a precarious position where they had to take a loan to stay alive. The vehicle does work. Well, this is their other vehicle, but that's not in production yet. But this thing is in customer hands. And I keep getting different numbers, but I think it's somewhere between 350 and 500 delivered in customer hands. So that's significant because that means that people are actually bought these and drive them and like them, and there's service involved and this and that. But they're ramping up. They're supposed to do 50,000 a year. They bought a new facility. So it's kind of weird. But the thing about it is that it's got lots of nice videos, right? And it's got a lot of nice, interesting things like this delivery thing and whatnot. But I wanted to go there and find out if it's real. And the reason why is because a lot of things look good in videos, but then it turns out they are like not a real thing. So I went there. And here's some of the photos. I'll just pull it up. Let me see if I can just get into it here. That should be right. Sharing. It should pop right up. Boom. Okay. So some of this stuff I can't share, but I'll just flip through it. But anyway, so this is the actual thing in their little rental dealership. They have like a utility version. That seems pretty legit. This is the back. It's it's basically a big motorcycle. When I was riding it, a guy in a Lamborghini pulled me over because he's like, I have to drive that. Like I was driving, and he's like, hey, I gotta drive that. And I'm like, you want to drive this? And he's like, yeah. Would you let me drive that? And I was like, I'm from New Jersey. Of course I'd be like, no, right? But when you're on vacation, you let the New Jersey guard down. I was like, all right, let's do it. So I pulled over, and this guy took out the car, the thing. So I was like, sure, go ahead. And I didn't take out his car because I was like, you know what? Because it's like an SUV, and like all I need is like one scratch. It's not. Who cares about a Lamborghini SUV? I don't know. To me, I'm like, what are you guys doing? A Lamborghini is not an SUV. So I was just like, this is stupid. Plus, I was like, I don't want to get involved in the liability of it. Anyway, he liked it. So it gets attention. This is not proprietary, but you could see it on the edge of the vehicle. Anyway, this is their motor. It's actually, maybe Greg would be familiar. It's a TM4, which is owned by Dana, and Dana makes axles. Okay,
axles, differential.
Right. But Dana got smart, and they bought an electric motor company called TM4, and they supply Arcimoto. So so there's a lot of interesting things happening with that. These are a little bit proprietary, but also I'll just swing through. This one's not. This is just like the factory. Now it looks like they pallet these in and buy them, but that's just because in the other building they make them. So they make this stuff from scratch, literally. So this is all American made in Eugene, Oregon. This is what it looks like on the street. It gains a lot of attention, I will tell you. I went into the bar, and when I came out, she didn't see me, but like I just caught someone like taking a selfie and running because they know it's not theirs. You know what I mean? Like people are into these cars. And then like a couple of people on the street, they're like, oh, are you my Uber? Can you take me somewhere? And like people are into it. Let's see. This is it. Like during the daylight, I took it out. It hauls ass. It goes 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. So this is all, I'm telling all the good stuff, and then I'm going to tell you the bad stuff. I got caught in the rain, and believe it or not, it hailed, and none of the water came in to touch me, which is, as long as you're moving, you're not getting hit by the water. It's got heated grips, heated seats. This is it hailing, and I tried my best because I didn't bring like mounting equipment for my cell phone and whatnot, but it's a thing. All right, here's the downside. The downside is you probably can't see it, but maybe in the video you could see it. Let's see, where's Arkamoto? Oh yeah, see this guy's knee, his knee position? It'll come around. You're almost at 90, and like that's okay for like 10, 15 minutes. But what if you get a leg cramp? You actually have to take your leg out and put it out on the fender to stretch it out. There's no stretch out. Like, Duke, you ride a motorcycle. In the best part, like stretching your legs every so often?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no stretch out, which is kind of like weird. I guess they expect you to do short trips, so you could always just pull over or whatever, I guess, if you had to. Another downside, let me show you, like this, the bars that you hold, they're kind of like, they're not the best quality. Oh, here's the startup procedure. These are nice. Everything here works really well. But they're not like high quality. It's not like BMW handlebars. Kind of like scooter bars, you know? There's your foot. See, I was showing you how your foot's kind of in there. And then here's your mount. The mount is like high quality. This is your startup procedure. You have to hold the button. Here's your bars. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like off the shelf stuff. So it's not like it's not an iPhone, you know? And you got to do all these things to get started. And this is your interactive. And then the weird thing is you have to do 2 seat belts. Okay. So this is, I think I actually turned the camera around to do that. Yeah, here we go. Here's one. Yeah, I'm like, okay, you got to do 2 seat belts. It's kind of stupid. There's one, and I don't know if I got to the other one while on the phone. But so while you're doing it, you kind of feel silly. But once it's on, I promise you, you don't feel them. They work very well with you. You're just in there. It's not a problem. But the fact that you got to put them on is kind of weird. I mean, it's a motorcycle. Why would you have to put on seatbelts?
So can I give my 2 cents?
Yeah, of course.
So I noticed the price starts at 25,000, right?
No, that's for the delivery one, but the lowest price is 18.
18.
Yeah.
Still high.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I mean, because I just looked at the MSRP of a 2022 Prius is 24,600, 58 mpg. I know it's gas and electric. It's apples and oranges, right? But I think it would be hard personally to sell that for 25 grand when you're up against a Toyota Prius for 25 grand.
Good point.
I mean, that's just my, because somebody who's got a company that wants to deliver pizza or boxes, whatever, around Eugene, Oregon, or wherever, that's pretty limited in all ways, right? I mean, you can't carry the passengers. What's top speed? 50 miles an hour? 60?
No, this does 75 miles an hour. So keep in mind. So basically, this is an electric three-wheeled
scooter.
Golf cart.
Yeah.
But your insurance price would be lower. So if you got that Prius, you got to have premium comprehensive, right? But with this, you got motorcycle insurance. That's like free. Okay, so there's one. And 2, it's basically like a tiny little golf cart, but it's 3 wheels, so it's even smaller, and all electric, no maintenance, and it does highway speed.
So is that technically a motorcycle then?
Yeah.
Is it classified as a motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay.
they call it an auto cycle. So in some states, you don't need a helmet.
Yeah, obviously they don't need one there.
Right. Matt, your phone's gonna die, dude. Yeah, thanks a lot for joining in. We'll catch you
Thanks,
soon.
Matt. Have a good week.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Matt.
you guys have a good night.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys next week and stuff. So this was fun. The open forum ones are always
they're
always
good.
end up turning out to be great.
Yeah, we got to do at least once a month. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
All right.
I'll try. Yeah, we got to talk, Matt. I mean, not Matt. Sorry, Ron. I meant Sarah. We need to see about figuring out. I got to see if I can get all my half dozen or so of my shop teachers on.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe the next open forum, I could invite them all and encourage them, and each give them 5-6 minutes on to talk about their program and how they got started and stuff.
We never go 5-6 minutes. We go longer always.
No, I mean, but it'd be cool.
I got you. Yeah,
I'd
of course.
I'd like some of my other teachers to see this and just to network and just see, because again, like what Matt does, if my building and construction trades teachers that I have 3 of them, saw what he's doing, and he's teaching the same age group of students.
Wait, I have an important question for you, Greg. Do you know about the red door of truth? Do you know about this thing?
No, what is this? I'm sorry.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Okay, well, we can save that for another episode.
It's too late to get started on this.
Shoot, whatever.
All right. Let me just tell you real quick. This thing pressurizes or
it pressurizes the whole house to see about the drafts and stuff. Yeah. Yes. For all the
red door of truth.
I need one of these for my house. You need it for yours too if you're getting all those cross.
Oh, no. There's
feathers are blowing all over in a windstorm. That's not good.
I already know the place is a disaster.
Yeah. That's cool. But
right.
I'm just gonna give one more quick example. Something I also oversee 10 photography teachers. Okay, and what I know, and we started doing these. We do these, showcases at the end of the year, and I made it a requirement that every single photography program has to participate in, and that we need to display a minimum of 12 photos from your students' work. And so we had 12 different schools, or whatever, 10 different schools, 12 photos each. And what it did is it allowed all the other teachers to see where their work was at and compared to others, right? And so, and some of the photographs were just awesome. I mean, professional work that the students were doing. The rule of thirds, the auto corrections, the use of Photoshop and photo manipulation was just very, very, very high quality. And then some of them were just terrible. Other program, I mean, just like all the photos were awful. So what that did is that helped kind of notify all my teachers, like, hey, if school A is over here and they're winning all the awards and they're doing this and you're over here, we're not trying to bust your chops, but maybe you should look at what they're doing and how they're doing it so that you could kind of also get your program parallel to theirs. So I'm thinking like with Matt, right? I've got 3 building and construction trade teachers that, if they saw the level of work that he does, they may not be able to take it to that level, but they might say, hey, you know what? Let's try and build a tiny home and let's try and finish it. And let's try and do it, rather than just say, hey, you can build a bread box and you build an owl box and you build a dog house. Let's, trying to, it kind of allows other teachers to see across this country where, they're teaching the same subject. Mm-hmm. I teach wood shop, you teach wood shop. I'm building a bread box. He's building a residential home. There's a big disconnect there. It's completely different, but we're 100%. Teaching the same subject.
You basically just described the shop class podcast.
Yeah. No, I did. But I mean, it's the thing is like how, where, Matt is here, a lot of people here and some are down here, but again, we're all teaching that same subject. Well, and so how do we get, how do we, elevate all, right? And because, and build programs that attract students and teach them useful skills so they can be a successful life.
Keep in mind, it's not a competition, and which I know you're not suggesting, but it's not about trying to get to Matt's level. It's like just being inspired by Matt, light the fire. You might think to yourself, well, we don't have land, but we do have a back parking lot. Or we can't do a full thing because we don't got an advanced class, but we could make a scale model, or something like that, and we've got through the Shop Class podcast, just by the spread of word of mouth, we have a lot of building science people involved. Now we got a lot of automotive people involved, manufacturing. And so resources are there. So let's say someone wanted something or wanted to talk. I mean, it's all basically through Instagram. And then now this is like the town hall in the middle of the week. You know, that's kind of what it is.
Just bouncing off ideas off each other. You know, he's not going to hand you his lesson plans and show you whatever he's doing to the T, but you know, you can get an idea here or there, inspiration somewhere.
Let's give Corey some time before we get going. Yeah.
I was even going to say, even talking with other people in automotive and welding and fabrication, it kind of gets you, for me anyways, it gets me excited to try and use different mediums and to collaborate with the teachers at school and, you know, hearing different stories and watching videos. And I don't know, it's kind of, we're so not necessarily narrow-minded sometimes, but we get stuck in our groove, and then you start reaching out and talking to other people, and you see somebody from, you know, Texas or something doing something. You're like, oh, never thought of that. Let's give that a shot, right? Like you were saying. Now, up here in Canada, I think to build a house, first of all, our lots here in Lethbridge are about 160 grand. So we're not getting $600 lots up here. And there'd be a lot of red flags for safety. But I mean, ultimate to be able to do that and have students, again, we're trying to do this for giving students experience and trying to hopefully, you know, open some doors for them. And I think that's great. They can be involved from foundation all the way to finishing, because lots of times it's, okay, we'll frame up the walls and then, or something, and then subtrades come in or something else happens. So to have kind of a full embodied project that he's doing, I mean, I get inspired, and I'm not even a construction person. I'm fine finishing, woodworking. So yeah, but you kind of get some ideas of what can we do, models or, you know, smaller scale things. So,
you know, also it's sometimes a big project is not what you need. Although it's good to get started. Like I did this huge car project once, but also little projects, little competitive projects are pretty good. I mean, it's all about ideas, even on supplier connections too. Like Duke connected with a 3D printing manufacturer in the United States, and he was one of the first to get, you know, some of that stuff into middle school. And then, like, you know, you just never know. Now, where are you located again? You said Alberta?
Lethbridge, Alberta. Yeah.
Lethbridge.
Now, where's that in proximity to like Calgary and?
Oh, Greg, we're gonna find out. Don't worry.
That would be here, but we're about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes south of Calgary, really close to the border.
Okay, by like, okay.
We'd be, I think we're about an hour and 10 minutes from the Coots border.
Is that on the Glacier side, like Glacier National Park side? Like
it wouldn't be a shop class podcast without Google Maps.
Oh, we got to do a little geography here. Yeah. All right.
Now I grew up in BC, so I've only been here for about 10 years. So, but yeah, we would be on the Glacier side of.
Okay. Yeah, I've come in through that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're here.
So we've got, I think we're about 105,000 population.
Wow.
We have 1, 2, 4, 5 high schools, maybe 6 high schools, part of our school division. So the one I'm at right now, LCI, it I believe is the first high school in Lethbridge. It's got a lot of rich history and tradition, and it started off as kind of the trade hub of Lethbridge, from my understanding. So right now we have, again, it's probably the biggest facility in the school district that we're in right now. We've got woodworking or construction technology, automotive, auto body. We're hoping to get a fabrication program going here in the next year or two. So
that's cool.
It's kind of like the trade school. I think from south of Calgary, we're the only school that has auto body. So
awesome.
Lots of options to kind of give students, and yeah. So
what's the name of your school?
Lethbridge Collegiate Institute. It's a big old maze, and I still don't know where stuff is in the damn school, but yeah, the timing, I my last day I finished I think it was a business management for a required class, an essay, and finished that, went to to the bar at the university for a drink, kind of like celebrate the last day of class, and got a job offer for shop teacher here. So it kind of, the timing was perfect. And yeah, so our automotive and auto body teacher, he's a heavy duty mechanic by trade, worked in the Army. So yeah, we're I get like we're kind of few and far between sometimes, and you kind of work with what you have. And yeah, I've kind of been following you / listening to you guys for a few weeks here.
Vehicle maintenance, girl only. What's that?
That's cool. Yeah. So we did, so when I first got hired, the auto shop was vacant for about 3 or 4 years, totally cleaned out, all the hand tools, everything. It turned into, oh, I need this wrench for at home, and kind of got stripped. So I got started, and there was a home and vehicle maintenance class, which I'm very limited in auto experience, but oil changes, tires. We did a little bit of sound system work and just different things to kind of give the kids some basic knowledge. And then that turned into a girls only. So this year we, myself and the auto teacher, we were hoping to have about a group of 40, but it kind of dwindled down a bit. I think we were at 32. And we did half the semester in the wood shop doing, we did little T-walls. So they did some floor framing, wall framing, electrical, wiring up a switch to a light bulb. And then we did some drywall, and then the fun old, let's take a hammer and put some holes in it and do patchwork. So we did that kind of for the first half, and then the second half, auto shop, tire change, brakes, kind of the stuff you could do at home with kind of very limited tools.
That's great.
It was a great class.
And that's put on by your instructor, the guy that does the auto body, or is that who?
And me. So we actually co-taught that class. Yeah, and we originally wanted to split the class and do half of the class in the shop, and then rotate halfway through. But we were our school's going through a lot of renos and mechanical work, so we had.
And how many? And that was a full semester, or is that just a short period of time?
Oh, it's a full semester. Yeah, his shop was full of glycol, so we had to kind of move the whole group over to wood shop for the first half. And yeah, it's awesome. The girls are so patient and willing to work through and practice and not just hammer out. Like the guys are, right? They get kind of bruisey, and I just want to finish it and move on. So
in our schools, we get like sued if you did it just girls only or something.
Oh, right? Really?
I mean, I really think so. I don't think you can exclude.
Well, America's gone very PC, and then California's like super PC, so you can't do.
I don't think we could do. I think it's cool. I mean, the reason I like this, and I might want to pick your brain on this more at a different time, but this summer we're going to be running an automotive boot camp summer school over at one of my high schools in the auto program, and we are hoping to get both girls and guys, but we want to just teach them kind of like the basics on a car, just like, hey, this is how you change the tire with the jack that comes in the car. Here's, some basic, how to inflate the tires using a door placard, maybe, checking the fluids, doing a basic oil change, looking, we were going to teach them all the basics. But I like the way you guys did this, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and, it was nice. I think it gives now I also understand that I approached my admin saying, can we do like an all girls woodworking or introduction to construction and woodworking, kind of split it up? And you might get a bit of flack. I'm not sure if we're able to do that, but having all the girls in there, there's not a sense of having, some of those guys in there that are, that they feel more comfortable to take risks, and really fun class. You kind of get to know them, and they kind of open up, and the learning just goes one way, and some are a bit more advanced. So they're doing, axle seals, and then some are doing basic oil changes and fluid checks. And it was a really cool course that we were, that was my first time co-teaching with it. And I also co-teach a course a program called Artisan that I co-teach with the art teacher, and students kind of develop skill sets through certain projects.
It's awesome. You do a lot of stuff, man.
Co-teaching classes is really cool because, again, you're able to pick up.
I would rather co-teach. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Each teacher brings their own kind of experience and skill sets and knowledge, and it's really cool to work with. So our art teacher,
why are
phenomenal
the
artist,
so organized, Duke? What is all this?
They had a lot of time to organize. They were shut down. For
Ours would look like a wiring diagram, the
COVID.
1967 Impala. It'd be all over the place with air.
Corey, you're the second Canadian to be like highly organized and well spoken. I can't handle it. I'm from New Jersey. Just give it to us straight, man.
Like Duke said, we were shut down for a while. This is also some of the art teacher who's quite organized, and
I'm jealous. I'm just kidding. This is awesome.
No, it's a great program. The kids can they kind of work on their skill sets, and then before COVID, they would make things and we'd take them to markets, kind of like little artisan markets, and they would sell them, and every kid would make their, whether it's jewelry, so it kind of combined art class and wood shop, and it's kind of dropping off a little bit with the creativity side. Kids are kind of, I think with COVID and stuff, they're like, I don't really want to make anything. I'm not creative. So it's kind of dropping off a little bit, but really cool program. Again, co-teaching.
They make a product and sell it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So are you doing this currently right now this semester? Or are you
doing we're not necessarily working on selling that stuff, but we got a grant through the city. We were approached from a group and they wanted to kind of revive the downtown core. So Artisan right now, we're building kind of arcade games for the downtown core for outside. So we've got skee ball, plinko. We're kind of making life-size game pieces that they can be put into parking stalls and kind of bring more vibrancy into the downtown core. So that's what we're doing this semester in the class. And it's kind of cool.
And you're not putting this stuff on Instagram, man?
I've never been into social media
in Canada.
Let me help you out right now.
Yeah.
Okay, look, this is the thing. You're a shop teacher, right? So no one's going to highlight your stuff. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to come and connect the way we did. Instagram has been a gem. Okay. Yeah. But then the barrier is like, ooh, all the bad stuff on social media. But just keep in mind, we're connecting and it's all positive, and this is social. So social is good. And if there's a policy at the school and they say, you can't represent the school on social media, you can't do this, they're talking about negativity. That's a completely fair warning. I completely understand. If you work at, let's say, the local Wawa, which you don't have, but those are, Duke's got those down there probably.
What is that?
The Wawa. Anyway, it's like
Tim Horton.
Yeah.
Horton, or an AW.
There we go.
Okay. So whatever. And you work there, and then while you're working there, you're like, I hate this place. This place is terrible. You deserve to get fired.
Yeah.
100%. Because you're working there, right? It's the same as a teacher. If you're out there tweeting and on Facebook saying negativity about the school, you're going to be in trouble. But if you're spreading positivity and connecting with stuff like this, don't think it's not about you. It's about, think about this, right? Cool. Dude, there's going to be people are going to want to sponsor your projects. People are going to want to connect with you. So social media is a game changer for our industry, especially.
Well, since following you guys and kind of, I know usually I think the last 3 weeks I've just been on audio because my wife works Wednesday night, so I'm at home by myself with the kids, putting them to bed. But kind of got inspired to hop on through you and Matt and the social media stuff. And
wait, how'd you find us?
We had so our podcast, the Builder Sessions.
Oh,
me and Lance. Yeah. So we had a interview with Justin Dietrich.
Oh, hell yeah.
He hooked us up with you guys and said, hey, man, he's a shop teacher too. So
that's right.
Small world, right? Like just about that interview with him.
I'm telling you, these are my internet friends right here. I finally got to meet Duke and I hung out with Greg last week. This is so cool.
And this is awesome.
Think about it. I was in San Diego on vacation and I got a shop teacher tour and I got to hang out and shoot the shit with Greg. It was great. And then there's a local maker thing and I got to see Duke. Like, it's awesome. It's an unbelievable amount of connection.
No, it's cool. And what I wanted to do, what I was asking Corey also, like what I'd love to do this and Ron and Duke and anyone that, I'm the gears are spinning in my head now, especially with that Lamb speed car that's sitting down at Madison. And I want to do live. I want to interact because now we're all Zoom proficient. Okay. I would like Corey to correspond with your automotive program and be live Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting an automotive class in Alberta and an automotive class in San Diego collaborating at the same time, like we're doing now, but with students.
Yeah.
And so
Totally,
that's what I'd like to do. And that's the thing, like this land speed car, Ron, is a good way to do it. So we could tune into, your automotive program and if you guys are team teaching this class, and we could, the students could talk to your students about this car they have in their shop and this land speed thing.
I have an opportunity.
I want to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my kids just finished. They're making these little cars out of cardboard that we're eventually going to make out of metal, but they're this big. They're like nothing.
Yeah.
But we lay them out and we put numbers on them, and I have a Google form, and we could have you guys vote.
Well, not only vote
on aesthetics,
but not only that, but also that would connect to the live vehicle that's sitting in the shop. Right. So like, Ron, I'm serious. Like if you want to try and do something next week,
let's do it.
We got to match up the times. You say like, hey, 10, whatever time, because again, the time difference,
time difference.
If you're doing, the class right after lunch might be optimal, our early morning class, and boom, we do a Zoom meeting and we connect and we take you out in the shop and show your students, and your students ask our students questions. I'd like to try that a couple times.
Let's do it. I'm totally game. You tell me what time.
Yeah, because we did. What was really cool is one of my engineering teachers during COVID, they were working with a school in Nicaragua, and they were doing, and through translators, some of the students spoke Spanish and stuff, and they were doing they were helping these high school students in South America develop this plan for supplying clean water, drinking water to their village, and our students were doing the CAD drawings for them and the surveying with Google Earth, and they would collaborate 2 to 3 times a week.
That's cool.
And it was and that's one of the cool things that Zoom brought together. So there's nothing preventing us from doing the same. Like we could take a field trip over to Ron's one week, we can go to Corey's class the following week.
Oh, and I have an electric car in the classroom, so I could show you it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'm just thinking it would be cool to and that could be another podcast series, is just connecting. We've connected teachers, but connecting schools
during the day
as well.
And my kids are making CO2 cars and Pinewood Derby cars.
Dude,
so
nice.
that would work, because then you're talking about the aerodynamics, the drag, and the resistance.
Yeah.
And then imagine if you had Eddie down there, Ron, talking to Duke students about the wind resistance and the way they've built their CO2 cars and the practical application sitting in the shop. So I think it'd be interesting. Maybe I get excited about it.
It's all an experiment. So we try it, and I'm sure it'll be glitchy the first time we do it. Something will go wrong, and we'll just fix it.
We did it during COVID. I just cold called people. I was calling Ricardo Engineering. They've designed a lot of the power systems for the Tesla, and renowned surf photographer Aaron Chang. And these guys just joined our Zoom meetings and taught our students in the lesson, from all over. So I think there's really nothing keeping us from doing that as well.
No, we can totally do this.
So
I think
anyway,
that speaks the power of social media too. I used to be on it and then just found I was wasting time. And now with this podcast and even the podcast that Lance and I started, we're reaching out to people we have no idea about on Instagram, like Kevin Tates, Jeremy Bumpus from Motor Trend, Spike TV.
These guys are
like,
killing it.
yeah. It was just hey, we don't even have a podcast ready, and do you want to be on it? This is what it's about. And they're like, sure. And I'm starting to see all the value of connecting with industry and being able to reach out to you guys, and it's crazy.
Well, it's just kind of like what it does is kind of it's like extension of your career. But like I always tell people, it's like you work at a school, that's great, that's fine, that's where your feet are located, but your career is way bigger than that school.
Yeah.
Like way bigger,
Yeah. Well, I've got an Instagram page started. I just have to go through the proper channels to make sure I'm not breaking conducts and policies.
Don't worry,
and codes.
you are breaking.
If you guys can teach an all-girls auto class, you'll be fine with an Instagram class.
Listen, you're gonna get I get in trouble at least twice a year. I feel like you're not doing it right unless you kind of get called into the principal's office at least twice a year.
Yeah. Uh-oh. All right. Hey, well, I'm going to sign off.
Yeah.
I got to pour that glass of wine. And eat
All right.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys.
All right. This is great. Corey, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
You guys, thanks.
Thank you very much, guys. I'll tune in next week.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Shop Class Podcast. Later.
See ya.